So I said in video number 115 that not having anybody in your life and doing it on your own can be a very freeing feeling. And it can be. However, it's extremely dangerous. Because not having anybody in your life can lead to extreme isolation, feelings of intense loneliness, suicidal depression, and it could even lead to suicide. Most psychopaths, sociopaths, and I think narcissists as well, they usually end up taking their own life and committing suicide because they eventually lose everybody. And once you lose everybody and you have to do it on your own, if you really don't like yourself and you don't even enjoy living and you know you don't have anybody left, what's the point of continuing? You know, what's the point of continuing to live if you don't have anybody in your life to live for? If you really don't like living that much. Especially those of us who have the extreme lows. You know, if you're borderline or you're bipolar or you're clinically depressed, you know, we have such extreme lows of suicidal depression that, you know, if we don't have anybody in our life anymore, when we have our high days, like this morning, I was pretty high. You know, I was like euphorically present and everything was hunky-dory. And then as soon as I posted that video, while I was posting and I was washing socks in the sink, I was like, I got extremely depressed. And I realized, it hit me that, you know, regardless of, you know, knowing that you have to do it on your own being a freeing thought, if you don't really enjoy living, or if you would have rather, if given the choice, if you would have rather been born or not, like you would have chosen not to be born. If that's your mindset from time to time during the low pain, during the low stages, and you don't have anybody in your life anymore, and it's just you now, like what's going to keep you alive? Nothing's going to keep you alive. You're going to end up killing yourself. And I thought the other day, you know, I wrote my sister and I said that I hope she's having a good day. And she wrote me back with a loving message and she asked me a question. And then I wrote her back, and I wanted to ask her a question back. But I didn't ask her a question back. Because I didn't want to. I didn't want to be heavy or a weight in her life. I would have rather just let her go without asking a question. And I should have asked her a question. And I knew I should have asked her a question. My intuition was like, you should have asked her a question. Why didn't you ask her a question? And it bothered me for a while that I didn't ask her a question about how she was or what she was doing. But I didn't want to bother her. I think we get to a point where we just feel like we're weighing everybody down. After I filmed that video 1:15 this morning, and I washed those socks in the sink, I sat on my bed and I thought about how much I was a tremendous weight on people in my life, and how I only caused people to suffer, and I'd be better off if I wasn't here anymore. And then I thought about killing myself, and how at least if I killed myself, they wouldn't have to deal with me anymore. They wouldn't have to worry about me anymore. They'd be pretty much freed from the existence of myself. Maybe they would benefit from it or something. Because if I don't want to keep doing this, being alive why would I continue to live when me continuing to live is just giving people something to worry about, or is an inconvenience? I guess that's what it all comes down to, It's like when you're as fucked up as us, sometimes you just feel like a gigantic inconvenience for everybody around you. people that are your friends, they're not really going to be around. It's just all fake anyways. Everybody leaves you essentially. They just leave. Wish this virus thing would have never happened. I feel like I'm getting less and less happy every day. Starting to slip more and more every day. My relationship with my family was great before the virus. And my relationship with my family right now is deeply unhealthy and unstable. The virus. It's going on for too long. When it first came here, I thought perhaps it would only be for a couple months. But it's longer. One of my favorite things to do is to go into stores like grocery stores and things like that. Like smile at people, say hi to people. Have conversations with people in the aisles of grocery stores. No, that's non-existent. People just want to go into grocery stores and buy what they need and leave as soon as possible. They don't believe in talking, really. They kind of are afraid, scared. They look at you in ways that they used to not look at you before the virus. Just kind of bringing my confidence down. I don't really like making videos when I'm like laughing and stuff. I feel like it's kind of fake. I kind of feel like this is my like real state now. I don't know. It's so hard to be happy these days, and like the happiness is like it's weighing. Change. So, change. change. So in psychology, they have this thing called the target, right? Trying to change it to a normal state is just hard. So, psychology, they have this thing called the target. And when you go into a therapist, like a clinical psychiatrist or the mental institution, they ask you, they make a target. And in the middle of the target, I guess the targets could vary from target to target depending on what institution you go to. But primarily, there's a target in the center, and those are your primary people, like the people that you love, the people that you're close to, the people that you see all the time. That's the center. And that's like your main target. And then your outer ring are the people that you see on and off like every day. And then the out ring, the very outer ring, those are like just people that you see in the grocery store, that kind of thing, and the people that you say hi to every day, And the psychiatrist or the doctor or the therapist will give you like a bunch of like red little stickers, or like little tiny like stickers that stick on the target, and they say that the more stickers that you have on this target, the healthier you are emotionally, mentally. And I feel like what this virus has done to everybody really is it's removed stickers from that target for most people. And I think for our community, especially, those of us who suffer from anxiety and fear of other people, of those of us who are scared of other people or agoraphobic. Like I've struggled with agoraphobia in my entire life. It's affecting us. This virus is affecting us even more so because it might create more anxiety in us and fear of us, not just fear of people, but from fear of going outside. So I think this virus is really fucking everybody up. I often talk on this program about how they're not putting suicide rates out in society. They're not talking about, ever since the virus, they're not, putting statistics of how many people are committing suicide in our country or in the world. Because I think the numbers of people committing suicide right now are like skyrocketing. They're not putting statistics out there about domestic violence, nationwide statistics, or worldwide statistics about, sexual abuse, rape, any form of abuse, physical abuse, any form of domestic violence. They're not putting those statistics out there. And I think the reason why they're not putting those statistics out there is because it would probably scare the shit out of people. Like, honestly, it would probably scare the shit out of people. About 2 weeks into the virus, I wasn't even going to release my ebook, the one that I put on Amazon, in the description. I wasn't even going to put it out on Amazon. And I was just going to, keep waiting to edit it and then, and then I was gonna hire an editor to, to edit it, and like, because I wasn't finished editing it yet. And I listened to this song that one of my Christian friends that I ride the bus with wanted me to listen to. It was called Rattle. The song's called Rattle. It's like a 10-minute Christian song. And I listened to it. And it had like 8 million views or something like that. And it just had been released like 5 days ago. And like, I didn't really enjoy the song that much. It was okay and all. But I'm like, how the hell does this have 8 million views and it just came out 5 days ago? I'm like, people right now are either just, they're inside their homes and they're deeply either afraid or they're suicidal or they need something to latch onto, whether it's Christian songs, Christian music, or whatever the fuck it is, just to entertain themselves, just so they won't kill themselves. And then I thought about like how many people were like going to commit suicide in the next month or two. And then I went outside and I looked at the stars. And then I looked across the street at the sky and at these trees. And I was like, you have to put that book on Amazon today and sell it for as little money as possible, just so people don't kill themselves. Like, you have to do it today. So I ran back upstairs, I messaged my sister, and I said that and I told her what I saw, or, what I felt, and how I felt that the numbers of people killing themselves around the world were going to skyrocket very, very soon. And if I put my book out there, which is pretty much based on being suicidal and homicidal, but mostly suicidal, and how to deal with being suicidal, and how we feel, how being suicidal is like this feeling within us, and how fucking insane it is, and powerful it is, and damaging. And that day I went to my sister's house. It took us like 8 hours to put that fucking book on Amazon. Thank God my nephew was there to help us like understand how to do it. And yeah, we put it on Amazon. And I sold my first 2 copies on June 24th, 2020. June 24th. Yeah, I'll always remember that. But it's important. It's important that we're there for each other. Nobody really watches these videos anymore, and that's okay. I went from like 30 something views to like now I'm down to like 4, 5, 6 views. But that doesn't really matter anymore. That doesn't really matter. The important thing is that like we're still trying. We're still trying. So I guess the message of this video is to just do your best to keep people in your life. Because if you don't keep people in your life and you're in a high state, like a manic state, or in a like, a state where you're like, oh, it's cool, man, I can do it on my own. Eventually that state will leave you. Like it leaves the psychopathic people and the sociopathic people, or the narcissist. And eventually it leaves you. And then eventually you commit suicide. Because it is very, very hard to do it just on your own. Alright guys, thank you so much for your time. If anybody's watching, and enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much. And have a good day. Take care.